Well, good morning, Bakersfield, surrounding communities, and everybody watching online on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. This is the Early Bird Special here on this 30th day of October, the day before Halloween. And I am Chris Burdick. That is Sparky. Sparky, good morning.
Good
Let them
morning.
know what they're in for.
Oh, we'll get into what was Game 5 of the World Series. We got some NBA news, some NFL news. We'll do our football picks. We'll preview tonight's game, which you can hear the Ravens at Miami with pregame starting at 4:30, kickoff at 5:15. Plus, our boy Bolt Brady will come on at 8:30, help you make some money while you can. And you can call or text in. You got lineup questions. You got to get some stuff off your chest. If you're a Dodger fan, feel free, call or text in anytime at 661-842-2000.
I will refrain from saying anything until the series is over. That is what I told myself yesterday. I'm not going to say a dang thing. I told you guys my piece yesterday. You needed that win. Now you head back to Toronto down 3-2. And yeah, we'll see. We will see. But I'm going to tell you right now, Dodger fans ain't going to want to listen to this show if you guys lose. You're not. Because I have heard some deplorable things from Dodger fans in the last 48 hours that I am not okay with. And it's taken everything out of me not to talk about it. But we will refrain until the series is over. And then I will highlight how bad it was. But at the end of the day, 6-1 yesterday. The Toronto Blue Jays pulled it off behind a fantastic pitching performance from the rookie, Trey Savage, who broke a MLB record, Don Newcomb's record at that, 12 Ks in a World Series game. Not to mention Clement with an 11-game hit streak now, ties the Blue Jays record, I believe, franchise record. They're on fire. And I don't think people are really giving them the credit they deserve because you may not have been able to watch them play as much this year. But this is what I was trying to warn Dodger fans of. Yes, Dodgers have star power. They could always lean on the star power. But Toronto knows how to get on base. This is literally, I don't know how to explain this any better than Moneyball. If you've ever watched the movie Moneyball, this is essentially what Billy Beane wants. Get on base. Don't strike out. Hit singles. Give your guys a chance to actually knock you in. There were multiple instances where the Dodgers had guys in scoring position where the pitcher threw the ball away, advanced them to second, third, wherever, and that's what led to a 6-1 loss. And that was your best arm on the mound. Well, best arm. Yoshi's technically, I think, your best arm and will be the best one for you here in Game 6. I still agree with Sparky. I think this goes 7. I'm pretty sure Yoshi will come out, most likely pitch at least 8 innings and let Roki come in and shut the door. But there is always this glaring thing with Yoshi, at least to me. I don't know if you guys see it or have seen it. If you can get to the guy early, especially in innings 1 and 2, it's really hard for Yoshi to win those games because the relief pitching obviously isn't up to par for the Dodgers. We will see what we will see here tomorrow night. They're on a travel day today, a rest day, much deserved rest day after, what is it now, 36 innings of baseball within 3 games. I mean, that game absolutely was wild.
Ugly.
It really was. But again, we kind of saw it coming, or at least I've been trying to warn you guys of this. 18 innings, that true takes a little bit out of the Toronto Blue Jays too. But the Dodgers aren't gods. They don't magically not get tired. All of these guys are just as tired as the Toronto Blue Jays are. And Toronto actually now has the benefit of their second best bat, George Springer. He's going to be having an extra day of rest because he didn't play at all yesterday. And him going into Game 6 is the Dodgers' worst nightmare because they've seen what George Springer can do to them in a Game 6 and 7 situation in the World Series.
It seems like the Dodgers bats are just cold
at the moment.
Cold. Yeah. And I think they'll at least come into play at Game 6, but I think you just hit it. I think it's Yoshi, and I just think that's their way to Game 7. Now, Game 7 on Saturday, that'll be a whole different story.
100%. Because again, Glass now most likely being on the bump. after getting run up that first game he pitched. I'm assuming he's going to want to get his licks back. That's if they don't go to Shohei, to be honest with you. I really don't know who you pitch in game 7. But at this point,
That's a good question.
You need a big game out of Yoshi in game 6. And I mean, you got it out of Snell. Snell went way longer than he really should have. But being the last game of his season, I understand why Dave Roberts left him out there for almost 120 pitches. You needed him to get to the 7th inning at the very least. And that's what he did for you. Just not the relief pitcher I expected you to throw out there afterwards, to be completely honest with you. I assumed it was going to be Roki Sasaki, and we were going to just see him for the last 2 innings, but maybe they're just holding on to that for game 6 and 7.
That's why I had a couple guys text me, what are we doing? Why are we putting him in?
Because he's already seen this game's over. You think
we're
coming back from this?
Man.
Yeah, you got to save the best of the best for the last 2 games. And this is another question, because, I mean, we brought this up yesterday. If he loses, is Roberts going to be the first one that Dodger fans call for their head? I think that would be a gross overreaction. Genuinely.
But that's what the Dodgers do.
I know. Well, that's what baseball fans do. Let's be fair, because everybody does it. Dodger fans do it more than anybody.
My buddy Augie is saying the same thing about the Blue Jays when they were playing the were playing with the Mariners.
Snyder has been fantastic. I have no idea what you're talking about. And honestly, you can't say Dave Roberts isn't trying to make moves to make it work. He switched up the lineup yesterday.
He's dealing with what he has.
Yeah, he wouldn't and I think the commentator said it beautifully yesterday. Who possibly do you guys think in that bullpen, possibly right now, does he actually have faith in? Who?
Especially with against the Blue Jays.
Even Sasaki. Sasaki last time he was on the mound didn't have a great showing. So who at all, Dodger fans, do you believe Roberts should throw out there for any kind of time? Because I'm going to tell you right now, they don't exist. Dave Roberts can sit there and say to the media until he's blue in the face, I got confidence in all of my guys. They are my guys. They're who plays on this team. That's the answer you're going to hear from any manager. But the truth of the matter is, when it really boils down to it, and you're down by 5 runs like you were yesterday, who is he going to throw out there that's going to make a difference? Who? Nobody. Not a single one. I'll answer that for you. None of them. You have 4 pitchers, essentially, and they're all starters. Not a single one of them is a relief guy. This is also why I've been harping this since Sparky? Halfway, 75% through the year, that you should have had Shohei as a reliever. If you had Shohei as a reliever, you'd be able to lean on him and have him do all of this. But no. So whatever the heck you guys want to blame Roberts for this year, I'll gladly listen to it. But again, I've heard a lot of really, really, really bad stuff from Dodger fans from the last 48 hours.
And if anyone would know, it would be you, because
I'm over it.
Into 4 hours of it every afternoon.
And it's not even him. No, it's not even those two. Like, honestly, that is what it is.
Part of it yesterday, and I was like,
that is what it is, brother. But
that's expected.
I don't like, you know what? I'll throw a little tidbit out there, but this is all I'm going to say. When it comes down to Dodger fans trying to throw being American in your face for not cheering for them in the World Series, when Dodger fans are body shaming somebody on the other team because he's a little chunky, but half of you are probably double his size and can't even throw a baseball to save your life. Yeah, no, I'm not happy with you at all. And I hope Alejandro Kirk cranks a grand slam on your butt and you guys leave game 6 from Toronto crying. That's what I genuinely believe. Now.
I hated him in the Mariners series, but he's grown on me.
All I hear, Fatso. I see people putting up videos of the Homer Simpson home run right next to his. I'm like, you know what?
Salty much?
Exactly. Like, what is your guys' problem with this dude? And he's got an amazing story. We're talking about a guy who was playing in the Mexican League and was paid $1,500 to come play in the MLB.
They've got great stories. I think there's 4 or 5 guys that have great stories that, weren't even supposed to be in the majors.
It just bugs me. I get you're salty. I understand that you don't want to like the other team because they're beating you.
But you say one thing about Ohtani.
Stop it.
Or the money that they're spending.
Or the gambling potentially Ohtani was connected to. Oh my God, you're the worst person ever.
Anybody could do it.
And by the way, Dodger fans, for those of you who are throwing out not being American, y'all went and signed the entire Japanese national team to be relevant. Sorry. Who's being un-American now?
Well, we got a couple texts from on this World
Ridiculous.
Series. The first one said that game last night was just embarrassing. They need to wake the hell up or it's over.
Okay, I could have told you that.
Yeah,
I mean, I was
I
telling you
get
that
it.
yesterday.
And I appreciate you keeping it clean
I do too.
because I know how you felt. The next one says I'm a Padre fan and hate the Dodgers, but I wonder what the Vegas odds are now. Kind of funny. Dodgers are down 2-3 going on the road, and I just don't know how you could bet against them.
I know how you can bet against them. You've watched the last 4 games of baseball. Like, it doesn't. You guys are really underestimating the Toronto Blue Jays. They did
I
not
wouldn't
just
bet.
run into this.
I wouldn't bet against Yoshi, but I would bet the Jays probably would take the series.
Absolutely. And again, you could sit there and say, "Oh, I can't bet against them." That's fine. Go lose your money. But the Toronto Blue Jays have been doing this literally all year.
I wonder what Bolt would say. I know he's not a baseball guy, but
No, but I'd love to ask him. I mean, I'm sure he has some sort of idea of what the books are looking at with this. But
I wonder. My question is what the books look like going into game one, because
yes,
I know the Dodgers were favored
100%.
and how much people were actually betting against them.
I mean, again, that is a possibility, and I hate that that is like something on everybody's mind, though, when you really think about it. Because if
Right
this
in the
is
middle of
going
this.
to stretch over to every sport, I mean, look, we all know gambling is having its, rearing its ugly head in sports right now, but it's not connected to everything. At least we would hope so. But I'm not going to sit here and believe that the books are controlling how the World Series is going based on who's betting on who. That's yeah, I
No,
don't know, but
no. I just wonder how much money Vegas is going to lose.
yeah, 100%. I'm very curious my dang self, but we'll see when this entire series is over and those numbers come out. Because I also don't know a lot of people that would have probably went and put money down on the Blue Jays. Because again, like I said at the beginning of this segment, most of you haven't watched the Blue Jays play baseball more than 9 innings in this World Series. Like nobody could tell me anybody on that team outside of Vladdy. And now what you guys all call Tubby. I can't, or Fatso, which I find that so deplorable. I really do. Y'all got nothing, so the first thing you do is attack this guy's weight. Really? God, children. You're all children. It's absolutely ridiculous. But again, that is me just digressing. I will keep the rest of my thoughts outside until this series is over. But there was so much said last night where I was like, oh, that doesn't sit well with me at all. Really doesn't. Especially this being, well, sports. I just can't do it. It just ridiculous. But let's take a break real quick. On the other side, we got plenty more to talk about. Brad Marchand of the Panthers did something awesome that I have to highlight, and I commend him for this so much. Plus, we got some news out of LSU on who potentially is going to be picking their next head coach, and apparently it's not their athletic director. We'll let you know who that is on the other side of the break. This is the Early Bird Special right here on ESPN Bakersfield. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on ESPN Bakersfield. 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. Also streaming video live every single day from 7 to 9 at least on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok. Just look up the Early Bird Special. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get over to LSU because we have some updates on this whole coaching search for them after they fired Brian Kelly. And apparently the governor of Louisiana, Mr. Jeff Landry, has come out and said AD Scott Woodward will not be selecting the next head coach of the Louisiana State University. And I find this to be kind of weird. I genuinely do. Because Landry has even come out and said that he would allow President Donald Trump to come and hire the next head coach at Louisiana for the Tigers, saying that Trump likes winners and he'd be able to pick a good one. I don't know about you guys. I understand this whole new NIL thing, the board and all of that, and the committees and the people who give the money obviously have a lot to say in who gets hired, who gets fired. And Landry may not be happy with the fact that they got rid of Brian Kelly. So again, 5-3 on the season, statistically terrible against top 10 teams, top 25 teams, and as a whole. And to be honest with you, as I've said about him and James Franklin and Napier, if you can't win those games, you're going to get fired, especially at the SEC level. Sorry, or at the SEC conference, I should say. But to come out and say that the athletic director, and mind you, just so you guys know, this is the same athletic director that was at Texas A&M back in 2019 who signed Fisher to an incredible contract. And Fisher led the team or led the Aggies to a pretty good, successful run before he was inevitably let go too. And at this point, I just don't know why we're even letting politicians decide these things. But I mean, you hired Scott Woodward, the athletic director of Louisiana State or of LSU, to make these decisions, or at least to, guide them at the very least. But to say that you're making the entire selection committee and not include the athletic director, that's kind of weird to me. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about this, Spark. I know you have a little bit of ties to LSU, but I mean, do you trust a board of essentially millionaires who probably have never played football in their lives? Again, I can't speak, don't know who's on the board, but let's be honest, the committee most likely is not going to be, a list of former players coming out to find a new coach for the Tigers. So is this a smart move by LSU's committee to, or should I say, to create a selection committee to find a next head coach?
It's all strange. I mean, I could understand why they wouldn't want the AD after, the last couple coaches and the last buyouts that they're still paying for these other coaches that didn't, come to par. But I heard the interview. I heard the joke, I'd rather have President Trump pick this guy over our AD, which was a joke. I get it. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, they all have it cut down to 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah.
And
maybe they'll have the AD jump in and say, which one do you like the best? I don't know.
I really don't think there's any push with what they're saying. I think it's just more just hearsay. They're just going to have to get through the next, period of time until they can really announce who their next guy is. I think it's really cut down to 2 or 3 guys. And unless, like we had a listener texting yesterday bringing up guys like Saban, which we both know that Saban's not coming out of retirement unless his wife tells him to. But personally, I just think they're just trying to stay in the news. And I think, it's going to be a rough month or so until this season is over for LSU. So they're just trying to stay in the news.
Coach O has come out, said he would love a reunion with the Tigers, and honestly, that would be really cool to see. I think
he even mentioned that he would be a defensive line coach if they wanted him.
Like he'll come back and coach at any level really for the team, and I think that's awesome, especially just being Coach O. But I mean, I think you made a good point. I know that it was said under the guise of being a joke, but let's be honest, it's politicians and they use that all the time saying, oh, I was just joking. I wasn't serious about it. Yeah, shenanigans. Your real feelings are hidden behind that fake laughter that you just gave us. And at this point, I know you don't like Scott Woodward. That's essentially what it is. You're not happy with his choices at Texas A&M, so you're not going to allow him, if you have anything to say about it, to make a decision for Louisiana. I just don't like that governors are stepping in. Could you guys imagine if Gavin Newsom stepped in and told USC to fire Lincoln Riley and I get to pick your next coach? That's ridiculous. I mean, again, and maybe it's a little different because this is a state college, and obviously it is a little bit different.
It's Louisiana.
But I mean, again, the government shouldn't have any hand in this. If we're mad about people betting and these betting organizations getting into this, you really think politicians being around this is going to be a good thing?
No.
Really? We're going to allow the literal people that are known for lying to be around sports? No. No. Hell no. And to go to your point about the buyouts, Sparky, because I thought this was interesting, because I brought it up to USC fans around, because personally, I think Lincoln Riley might be actually on the hot seat, especially with just the way they can't travel and play these games. We're going to see a lot this weekend. But you want to talk about buyouts? I mean, that's a big buyout for USC. But let's talk about the other buyouts that are going out, because there's $168 million going to these coaches that have been fired this year, including $21 million going to Billy Napier, $15 million to Mike Gundy, who was fired from Oklahoma State, $9.8 million to Sam Pittman, who was fired from Arkansas, $6 million to Brent Pry, who was fired from Virginia Tech, Deshaun Foster, $5 million, who was fired from UCLA, $4 million to Trent Brave from Oregon State, $2.4 million to Trent Dilfer at UAB, 1.5 to Jay Norville, who was fired from Colorado State. And of course, we've already talked about the ridiculous $54 million going to Brian Kelly, plus James Franklin's ridiculous buyout as well. Is this the new norm for college football?
I think so.
We're just going to say, fine, we'll sign you to $50-60 million contracts, but we're probably going to have to pay that all out to you at the same time.
If you don't work out,
oh
yeah. And they better hope that they get it right this time.
That's a lot of money.
Because you know the price is going to be high on whoever the coach is. And if they have to snag a different coach from a different team that's still under payroll right now.
Well, and think of it this way too. Teams like LSU, teams like Penn State, these coaches coming in, no, you've already paid these guys $54 million plus, $48 million plus. Exactly. So they're going to sit there and say, well, if you want me, you're going to have to pay 60. 65. And when they don't work out and they have to pay those guys out, oh my Lord. I mean, you're talking about these kids walking away with money that don't really earn it very well.
I even talked
some of these coaches.
I heard Rich Eisen talking about yesterday. He said he could see Saban coming, but it's going to cost him $75-80 million.
Oh, 100%.
And he said the only school he would go to is LSU.
Right, because he loves Louisiana. But that's the thing, though. I just don't know if that is the
And you mentioned it yesterday. That's the only reason I said it, is because it's a whole different type of league now.
Right.
With the portal, with everything else, the way football is played now.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if you paid $80 million for the spotlight of getting Saban back as a coach, and he is not the Saban you are expected, and you're paying another coach a big ass buyout like that?
Well, I mean, a coach that you could really highlight to be a warning sign for people. Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick. Although, again, a little bit different. UNC, not really a football school, and doesn't have the talent or the roster that they needed to be successful.
And it goes back to day one. What did you say? The best fit? The
John Gruden, baby.
John Gruden.
John Gruden is the best fit for LSU. I'm going to die on this hill. Exactly. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get somebody that can develop your quarterbacks. You already are wide receiver and trust me, young wide receivers want to come play at LSU. They want to be the next Jamar Chase. They want to be the next Justin Jefferson, and they know LSU will make them that player. So you get somebody in there that can develop a quarterback at the same time. Oh my God.
You know, I heard yesterday, which is a wild accusation, but they were saying Mike McDaniel to Penn State. And I said, really?
That's a really quick turnaround.
That would be a reach. One.
Yeah.
Two, you're going to try to bring this offensive guru to a school like Penn State, who has never coached really at that level.
Mm-hmm.
And you think he's going to make that jump? I mean, we've seen it in other coaches. but
but not that quickly.
I
Usually
would
you get
exactly give him
usually
a
you get a
year.
year or two in between
Let
their
him study
jobs.
some college. You
Right.
know, he's not a scout. He's digging himself out of a
Right,
grave right now.
exactly. Although he might actually fit better in college. He has that personality that I think younger players would really gravitate towards.
And I think that offense would work perfectly.
Yeah. My
But
only issue is
that quick.
his history, and I
Yes.
don't mean to highlight it at all, but
No.
it's there. And we've seen what happened with Sark. So,
And that type of coach that is more of a player's coach. You
yes.
want somebody with that type of history hanging out with your college athletes?
And that's the thing. And that it's like not to say that he is a bad person at all. We don't know the man like that, but it's more of your history says one thing. I would hate for you to go to a college and then have it, you know, come out in some way, shape, or form. You're hanging out with the players at a frat party or something like that. You know what I mean?
That's how he met his wife.
Exactly. So it's like it's a really weird thing. I could see him in college though. I think he would fit really well at the college game if I'm being honest about it. I just don't see it this quickly. The only coach that I see going to Penn State as well, and this is just me saying this out loud, is Matt Rule. Everything fits perfectly for it to be Matt Rule. Matt Rule and the athletic director are tight. Matt Rule went as a walk-on and played there at linebacker. Matt Rule met his wife there. I mean, everything points towards Matt Rule going to Penn State, especially if Nebraska loses this weekend and they get kicked out of the playoffs. Not to say that Matt Rule is most likely going to get fired. That's probably not going to happen.
And another name that
But
popped out yesterday was Brian Hartline,
yeah, that's another one I've heard as well.
which I'd be like, who? I mean, that's a big jump.
That is a big jump.
I don't know if he's ready to be a head coach. I mean, he's a wide receiver coach over in Ohio State, but
But again, we're
that's a
talking
big
about
jump.
another wide receiver U right there. Ohio
Mhm.
State, just right behind LSU, one of those great schools that's known for developing fantastic talent. And he's been at the forefront of it. I mean, we talk about Ohio State wide receivers all the time. Jackson Smith and Jigba right now leading the league in reception yards.
So many of them.
Dude, it's nuts. But again, that's the only thing. I think somebody under the Ohio State tree would probably benefit a little bit, even if it is a wide receiver coach. But I do agree with you. That is a pretty big jump, not even calling plays first.
It might be safer.
I mean, that's
You know,
fair.
probably cheaper for a reason.
Well, again, I don't know if it's going to be cheaper. Let's not be
I
crazy.
mean, Brian Hartline to John Gruden.
Yeah.
That's a major jump.
Yeah, and John Gruden, you're going to have to pay him Nick Saban money. You're going to have to pay him like $50 million, $60 million just to come have him coach for you. And maybe LSU is willing to put down the money on that. We'll see. This entire selection committee thing just has me scratching my head. I really don't get why politics just feels the need to get in the way. It's like, first off, again, I realize it's Louisiana State. I realize it's a state college, so the governor obviously has some say. But shut your mouth.
Right.
There's no reason you need to be talking.
Especially don't bring up your president.
No. Trump, and this is what you guys are worried about right now. We're in a
that's
government shutdown, but everybody in government wants to pick coaches for colleges.
yeah.
That's what America wants you to do.
You
Thanks,
sure
man.
don't want to get your fans divided at this time either, but we'll
can't.
take a break. We've got plenty to talk about. Get your calls or your text in. If I've got 4 or 5 texts that came in for fantasy lineups we can get into right here on the Early Bird Special on ESPN Bakersfield, 12:30 a.m.
101.1 FM. breaking stuff today.
I did this one for the Dodger guys, so
It doesn't hit the same without the F-bomb. It doesn't, but it's still a great song. And still one of the weirdest bands to see on stage.
yes.
100%.
I've seen them 2 times in 2 different decades, and they were both awesome.
It's I need to actually go see them live. I've only seen videos and whatnot, but to see, I mean, half the band is a country band. There's a guy out there that looks like he's a member of Kiss. I mean, it's a very, very odd pairing.
When I saw him,
Okay.
in 4.5 hours.
For those of you who don't know, Sparky's in a little bit of pain today. He had a tattoo appointment yesterday and got the color put in. Are we gonna put it? That we can't pull up the sleeve just yet because obviously. Oh no, you can. Okay, cool. For those of you on YouTube checking it out there. Oh, it came out good.
Little painful,
Joker
but
came out good.
we've got a big shout out to my boy Juan over at True Grit Tattoo on Roseville Highway. He is a
I'm gonna have to go to him now too because I need to find a new tattoo parlor.
Legit. And
I miss my boy, but I don't know if they ever reopened Electric Wizard.
No, I missed that place too.
Yeah. Well, my boy Smitty, who did my tattoos, was in there, and then they had their whole thing happen because of the dummy. And yeah, so I won't get into it. It's not my business.
It's a whole other world.
Yeah.
But no, yeah.
So
Limp Bizkit, I got to see them on Anger Management Tour with Eminem before the whole thing happened between them. And that was with like Papa Roach and Eminem, D12.
God, could you imagine being behind the scenes on that tour?
That was a hell of a show. But then I recently saw them
and Marshall going at each other
the whole tour.
God,
and we all know how that ended up with the whole diss tracks. And
you don't get on Eminem's bad side, dude.
No,
just don't do it. If you want your career to succeed, do not get on Eminem's bad side. If you want to know the difference, Limp Bizkit disappeared for like 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, Machine Gun Kelly left rap.
Yeah, whatever happened to him?
He's a pop star now.
Is he?
Yes, he is. That's from what I understand. He's a rock pop star now. Again.
But no, we saw him with the with Aftershock last year, or the year before, and Fred Durst came out all cowboyed up, and I was like, who the hell?
Again, I don't know if this was just a choice just to make sure everybody started looking at him again and saying, hey, look, Limp Bizkit's back. Or if it's just one of those things where they got old and said, you know what? I don't care what I look like anymore. I'm just going to go up there dressed the way I want to dress.
Right. And in the short amount of time in this segment, I will have to say my Chicago Bulls are 4-0.
On fire right now. I know we got basketball. I love basketball. It is my first love 110%. But when my Cavaliers get blown out by 20 against the Celtics on television, I know it's early in the season. I realize this, and I shouldn't hold too much weight into some of these games, but come on. They don't even have Jason. They don't even have Tatum. And we still lost by 20?
My issue is happening? These injuries are starting to stack up.
They really are.
Anthony Davis out last night, holding his ankle.
Dallas needs him back. I mean, again,
Trae Young.
Dallas is going to be one of those teams, I think, to me, that probably won't be able to get everybody on the court at the same time, and we're all going to wonder what could have been if they did. Trae Young, on the other hand, in this entire Atlanta Hawks team, I mean, I know this guy gets a lot of grief and gets a lot of hate from a lot of fans around the league, but I feel bad for him at this point. I mean, nobody wants to stay in Atlanta to play with him. I mean, he's doing everything he can to keep the Hawks relevant, and then he gets hurt with the ankle injury. I mean, this guy can't catch a break. He really can't. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see him on the trade block when this all gets said and done at the end of the year, because that's just the way that this entire thing has really been boiling, especially after the Murray departure and all of that. It's been a really, really ugly thing for Atlanta the last couple of years.
And Austin Reeves getting a buzzer beater
first of his
beat
career.
The Timberwolves. I mean, he's been on fire. And not to go back too far, but we had a longtime Dodger fan text in a book that I've got to get out before the end of this hour. But it says, what the hell was Dave Roberts thinking of taking Shell out with only needing one more out?
Really?
Brought in hell. I can't even think of the guy's name anymore. They were only down one run at that point. Also, where the hell is Mookie Betts at? The lineup minus Shohei, Freeman, Smith, and Hernandez. All I need to hear is the flipping bat. I never want to see Blake out there in the bullpen again. I still and will always believe they will win in 7. even when everything says no. Also, I feel bad for Kershaw's last game at Dodger Stadium. Go Blue.
I was really thinking last night too. Is like if they're getting blown out, if they're blowing them out, you think maybe they just throw Kershaw out there just because it's the last game of the year in Dodger Stadium. Like, I have to agree with you on that part. I was really hoping to see a Clayton appearance last night, but also you're skewing the truth, and I'm not going to let you do that. Blake Snell was not only down by a run. Blake Snell also was not having a great game. He was up at 120 pitches. You want him to throw his shoulder out for you? Again,
He was at 3 or 4 in the dirt.
y'all's reaching to make this Dave Roberts problem is really, like, it's dumb. It's really dumb. I'm just going to throw it out there right now. This man is one World Series away from being a bona fide first ballot Hall of Famer. And you guys talk about the guy as if he hasn't done anything for you. We just got done last week talking about how he's probably the only manager in baseball that can manage this team. But you guys are still blaming him. You lost 6-1. You didn't magically hit a home run after Snell got pulled off and said, oh, see, we would have been tied. No, you were down 3-1 at the time. True, you switched in a guy and Vladdy Guerrero came out and busted one open. But if Snell stayed in against Vladdy Guerrero, where he would have been at a disadvantage, by the way, it probably would have gone the exact same way. So no, you guys blaming Dave Roberts for pulling Snell when there was only one guy left in the 7th? Stop it. Stop it. That had nothing to do with it. That had nothing to do with the loss. You guys were losing at that time by 2 runs. The bases were dang near loaded at the time. Come on. Any other manager would have done the same thing. You can't let the guy go over 120.
To go back into the NBA, I know there's been some talk about the Rozier thing, which we covered a little bit. I know the FBI came out and said, he owed a ton of money with the IRS and taxes. But then the question came out yesterday with not only him, but, other players that are involved, coaches, on should they be getting paid right now as they are on leave when everyone knows while they're on leave, especially when it comes to gambling. And I know there was people fighting for Rozier. He should be getting paid.
The NBA, or what is it, NBPA, right? And the National Basketball Players Association. I think I said NBAPA on our description, which I'll go fix later. But regardless, logically to me at least, I don't know about you, Sparky, I'll let you say it after me, but when you get suspended from work, do you get paid? If we got suspended today for saying something stupid on the air, will we still get paid? No. That's how the world works, right? You guys heard me yesterday talk about how these load management games can kind of be seen as like sick days for some of these basketball players. Because again, this is a job. This is their, career, place of employment. So at the end of the day, everybody should be treated that way. If you get suspended for any way, shape, or form, anything you do stupidly outside of the game, you're not going to get paid.
Especially when the whole topic is money.
Right. And I'm like, I know it's the Players Association, so they're not going to be sprinting out there to help Chauncey. But I don't remember you guys doing this for Porter. I don't remember you guys doing this for most people that get suspended for stuff. You guys don't go out there and say, oh, he deserves his money. He should still get paid even though he's not on the court or practicing, which is a ridiculous statement in itself. Come on, guys. Like, I get it. Be there for your guys, be there for your boys, and defend your players 100% as you should. But there are some battles that you really don't want to fight.
Yeah, and you probably should just stay away from that one. Yeah, we'll take a break. We'll get into your lineup questions. And then I pulled a list from the Bleacher Report with the trade deadline coming up Tuesday. They've listed the top 10 players that should be projected to be traded and what their value is right after this.
Better be on the top of that dang list. Also, real quick, before we go to break, because this broke right now, but the Nationals have signed and hired the youngest manager in MLB history at 33 years old. Blake Butera is the new manager for the MLB, or at least the youngest manager in the last 30 or 50 years is what I'm reading here, apparently. But that's awesome. Good for them. I love to see change in baseball. I love to see young minds get thrown into these kind of jobs. It's honestly really, really cool to see. So let's take a break real quick, like Sparky said, and we'll get to this list of potential trade targets in the NFL. Plus, on the other side of the break, we will talk about the Thursday night football game as well as Sparky's Dolphins get set to take on the Ravens tonight. This is the Early Bird Special right here on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield, as well as streaming online on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. Streaming video live from 7 to 9 every single morning on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can go back and watch every single episode of the Early Bird Special on our YouTube channel. Just search the Early Bird Special. You'll see our little logo there at the bottom right corner as our picture and whatnot. Like, share, subscribe, all that type of good stuff. The bell, and you'll know every single time we're going to be live. And you're going to want to, especially if you're a Raider fan, because we will be going down to the Raider games here in the final couple weeks of the season. I'm not sure if we're going to be there this weekend with Jacksonville. I know myself and Sparky are both tied up this weekend, so I'm not sure if we're going to have any representation down there or not. But upcoming games, including the Dallas game, the Cleveland game, we are going to be there and hopefully be able to show you guys some behind the scenes and maybe live stream a little bit of the press conference or something. We're trying to figure something out.
BC season with 2 weeks left.
Absolutely.
Then my weekends will free up again. But the top 10 players from Bleacher Report and their projected value, and I mean a lot of them we've been talking about. Number 10 was Brian Thomas from the Jaguars, and they think they could pull a second round pick for him.
I could see it. I mean, again, the Jaguars are. I just don't have a lot of faith in the team. I really don't know if this is just me being a stickler of Liam Cohen or what, but I've just, from what I have seen, not really that impressed, to be honest. And Travis Hunter has been completely left out, in my opinion, on offense. I don't even think he's even trying to get him in the ball anymore. So if they're moving off of Brian Thomas, maybe this is them saying, okay, Brian's not our guy anymore. Travis is, and we're going to move him towards where Brian was. But we'll see how this all works out for him.
I mean, a second round pick, I know there's teams that are wide receiver needy.
I don't know if you're going to get a second round
pick. I don't know about that. Number 9 would be Quinnen Williams from the Jets, and that'll be a first round pick and probably more. And I just don't see the Jets moving on from him.
I've heard, I didn't hear Quentin. I heard the other one, the brother, that is the one that's on the board that most likely will get moved. Quentin, I agree with you. I don't think you're going to get him, at least not for a first round. I don't see many teams in the NFL trade for first round picks anyway. Like, it's very, very rare. And I just don't know if the Jets are really ready to move off of any of these guys. I hear Breece Hall's name thrown around there a lot as well, but I just feel like there's a lot going on that this team may just believe in themselves a little more than we do.
Number 8 would be the Giants edge, Thibodeau, another first round pick.
The man who was robbed.
If I was with the Giants, I would not trade that guy. No. That defense is going to be tough for many years.
That's what I'm thinking in my head. Is like, unless it's just a contract issue and you can't pay him, then I kind of understand. But he's also not one of those DNs I'm expecting to get a major payday. I think Brian Burns is more that issue for them. But I agree with you. This team doesn't look that bad. And really, they're just young. If they can hold off on trading anybody away, maybe add a couple pieces during the offseason this year, next year, we could be seeing them fight at least for, I would say, the NFC East, especially if the Eagles continue down this path of maybe not kind of figuring out what their offense truly is.
Number 7 would be the Raiders offensive lineman, Jackson Powers Johnson.
You ain't getting nothing for any Raider lineman right now. No. I can promise you that right now.
Number 6 would be cornerback safety Rick Woolen from the Seahawks.
I've heard his name thrown out a lot as well. I just don't know. I know they are in love with that secondary out there that they have built.
And they're playing well.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you touch that? Number 5 would be tight end Mark Andrews from the Ravens.
This one would not surprise me after those big years for him where he was arguably the second best tight end in the league and then just drops off. I would not be surprised if they moved on from him, especially if Lamar comes back tonight and they don't have the chemistry again.
That's what I was going to say. If they lose tonight, or I know there's been a lot of talk about maybe it's time for the Ravens to start up a fire sale. Again, I mean, I could see Mark Andrews being able to be moved.
We talked about it yesterday outside of the show. I don't know if we ever actually said it on the show, but there's rumors of Derrick Henry wanting to reunion with his favorite coach out there in New England. And to be honest with you, they could do it. I mean, I know Vrabel's not in love with either of the running backs he has right now in New England.
Especially the running back or the rookie.
And New England right now has found a new sense of life. So I would not be surprised if they look for a big trade during before the trade deadline, I should say.
Number 4 would be the linebacker from the Bengals, Logan Wilson. Number 3, Breece Hall, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
And I could see the Jets moving on from Breece Hall. They've got a lot of talent at the running back room. And if they're going to get anything out of any of those players,
it's going to be
It would be Breece Hall.
100%. I agree.
Number 2, Dolphins edge, Jalen Phillips, which has been a lot of talk to pull a third or fourth rounder.
I heard Detroit was reaching out to you guys for him.
I heard that, and I heard Dallas. I think if anybody, I love Jalen Phillips, but I just think he's too small.
Really?
and he's injury prone. This will be 2 seasons out of 4 that he didn't finish the season.
What do you think that you guys would get for him if you did trade him? Third rounder,
third, fourth rounder.
That's a fair number, I think.
And number 1, which we've talked about, is wide receiver from the Raiders, Jacoby Myers, who's asked for a trade multiple times.
That's the thing, man. I feel so bad for Jacoby. I really do. But I think if he ended up going to a place like Buffalo, we could really see what Jacoby can do as a number 1 receiver, because he really is one. He's a stud. He's been a stud everywhere he's been. And as long as he's got a good quarterback throwing in the ball, he could be one of the, well, I won't say top 10, but he could be one of the more favored wide receivers in the league. Maybe, for your fantasy football team, you can have him as a wide receiver 2,
going back to
the
New England.
big guy. Yeah.
Buffalo would be tough.
Buffalo would be tough, but I don't know if New England is willing to make the move for a receiver. I see them more making a move for a defensive player or a Derrick Henry and rounding out this run game next to a very young quarterback who would really benefit from one.
What do you think they'd have to give up to get Derrick Henry?
Second, third rounder.
That's it?
Yeah.
And probably the rest of his contract?
Age has to come into it. We got to remember guys like Julio Jones were traded away for second rounders around this time in their careers. So, yeah, you don't get a first rounder out of these types of guys anymore. If you traded him a couple years ago before he got to the Ravens, I would argue you could probably get a first rounder out of it.
Well, after this, we'll take our break. We'll do this week's football picks. Plus, we got Bolt Brady joining us at 8:30 right here on the Early Bird Special.
Welcome back. Hour 2 of the Early Bird Special right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, as well as streaming video online on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch from 7 to 9. Again, you can go back and watch every single episode of the Early Bird Special. I believe they're up on Facebook as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I think Facebook keeps them up there on our page. But you could also go to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe. There's plenty of videos for you to check out there as well. Past interviews, past segments, plus whole shows you can go back and watch if you wish. It is all right there. Just subscribe, hit the bell, and every single time we go live, you'll know it.
We'll get through our football picks for
Absolutely.
this week, and then we've got some lineup questions that we could get into. But kicking off tonight, the Baltimore Ravens at the Miami Dolphins, which I think we've got to win this game.
I agree with you.
Or some people are going to get some new uniforms.
I agree with you. And to be honest with you, I want to hear your thoughts on the game as a whole after we get these picks done. This morning I told you I'm sorry because I am going to have to go with the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm going to double down on that because I do believe this is just as pivotal of a game for them as it is for Miami. And if they can start out on the right foot here, just start this season over from scratch and just go and win every single game that they can, you have a very, very good chance at coming back in this division and probably taking the division.
Well, we'll get into those the Pro Football Focus things that you fans
must accept.
And one of those is mentioning that. So I'm guessing you're taking Baltimore.
I am going to take Baltimore.
I'm taking Miami as well because I have got to go with my Dolphins.
Understandable.
No matter what. Chicago at Cincinnati, and I think we're both
going
taking
with the
Chicago.
Bears.
Cincinnati doesn't even know who the hell is starting at quarterback,
which is the weirdest thing. And it's like, okay, so we're just jumping off the Flacco train that quickly, huh?
I know he got some type of injury.
Yeah, he got banged up at the end of the last game, but he came back in and played. So I can't imagine it's that bad. But again, Carson Wentz also played with a broken bone in his shoulder for the last couple of weeks. So,
but if Browning is starting, I can't pick the Bengals or feel comfortable with it.
Nope.
Even if they're at home. Minnesota at Detroit, which J.J. McCarthy is back for Minnesota.
I'm going to say Detroit, but this could be a huge win for J.J. McCarthy's career if he can come out and just sling it.
I'm going really Detroit. I just think that they're starting to click.
Yeah.
And I think Minnesota's got to figure out if JJ's the guy.
100%.
Carolina at Green Bay.
Never pick Carolina. Going with Green Bay.
I will take Green Bay just because I'm still torn with Carolina. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. Then we got the LA Chargers at the Tennessee Titans.
I'm going Chargers because, again, Tennessee Titans, hot garbage right now, and I don't know if a week is enough to fix that.
Exactly. I've got to go with the Chargers. The Atlanta Falcons at the New England Patriots.
Oh.
I'm going New England. I think New England's going to take this division.
I agree with you, but for the sake of being different and getting us out there, I'll pick my team as well. And I know I picked New England in the morning show over on Kern, but I will ride with my boys in this one.
And we don't know if Penix is starting?
He looks better from what Schefter said. It says that both Drake London and Michael Penix look better, but they aren't fully 100%. So even if they do play, it's not going to be to their fullest capabilities.
Then we got the Niners at the Giants without Skadaboo.
I'm still going to ride with the Niners on this one. I think the Giants are a good team, but I think the Niners just have a little bit more. I really do.
And is it Brock starting?
Yes, I believe Brock should be back this week.
I'm going with the Giants. I like Jackson Dart. I like the style he's playing, and I think Tracy, I know he's not Skadaboo, but I think Tracy with Dart, which we haven't got to see yet, really as a starting running back, I think the Giants will pull it out. The really one of the game of the weeks is the Indianapolis Colts at Pittsburgh.
I agree, but I'm going with the Colts because they are the real team, and Pittsburgh, in my opinion, is the pretender.
Yeah, this one I'm torn. I think Pittsburgh wins this game, but it's going to be a close one, and it's just really just a reach.
If Aaron Rodgers can come out and be vintage Aaron Rodgers, then the Pittsburgh Steelers have a chance to beat anybody, and I stand on that. But this Colts team has figured it out on offense. They have the best running back in the game, in my opinion. Daniel Jones hasn't thrown an interception in weeks. I mean, again, the levee's got to break at some point. I just don't know if Pittsburgh's that team. I really don't. They've played themselves out of a lot of these games too.
And their rush defense is not going to be well enough to stop Jonathan Taylor. But
then again, we said the same thing about Miami and Bijan last week, and look how that ended.
It's professional football for a reason. Denver at Houston.
I like Denver. I love the way Denver's been playing, 77 points in 5 quarters, and I think that continues.
It's just funny is because just 2 years ago, the Dolphins put up 70-something on them. I think Denver is the real deal. And Houston is one of those teams that I'm on the fence with. I don't know what Stroud you're going to see. I don't know what defense is going to show up. I just feel safer with Denver.
And you know what's funny? It's funny you bring that game up because the other day someone brought that up to me as well. And we both kind of agreed that's where Vance Joseph kind of like hit the ground and said, never again. This will never happen again. And they haven't. The defense has been fantastic ever since. So maybe they needed that 70-point loss.
And we got Jacksonville at the Las Vegas Raiders, which we are the home of the Raiders.
We are.
And you'll be able to hear that game right here.
Unpopular opinion, but I'm going to go with the Raiders in this game. I genuinely just believe that Max Crosby and this defense are going to be coming out of this bye wanting to win. And if we can just get Geno not to throw 3 picks.
That's the problem.
Just kind of get Geno maybe not to throw any picks. Maybe we figure out how to do that first before anything. But again, it's really going to boil down to that. What team shows up? And I think, and I don't know, part of me believes that the Raiders are going to be the team to show up.
I think it's a coin flip. I know I picked the Raiders on the other one, but I'll switch it up. I'll take Jacksonville.
Fantastic.
New Orleans at the LA Rams.
Never picking the Aints ever during the season. And Tyler Shuck is their new quarterback starting this week. We were talking a couple weeks ago about the Jackson Dart starting and how they were throwing them to the Wolves against the Chargers. Nah, this is the Saints throwing Tyler Shuck out to the Wolves against the Rams because, I mean, even after losing Aaron Donald, that front seven never stopped being good, and they're not going to stop now.
And the next game of the week, Kansas City at Buffalo.
Got to go with my boy Josh. We ride with Josh Allen on this one, although I'm sure I'm going to be wrong, and I'm sure the Chiefs are going to pull it off.
I think it's going to be a tough game. Buffalo coming off a bye week. I'm still going with Kansas City.
Give it to the Zebras because that's what it's going to come down to.
Sunday night, we get Jaden Daniels back for Washington, but Seattle is in town. Seattle's playing tough.
I need to know if Seattle's secondary is going to be at 100% too, because they've been without Witherspoon and Love for the better part of a couple weeks. I know Woolen was another guy that was dealing with injuries and their rookie safety as well. But I'm going to ride. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going with the Seahawks. I'm not going to do it. Jaden Daniels is great, but I can't say he's enough to beat the entire defense.
I love my guys in Washington. I'm going to go with the Commanders. And then Monday night, Arizona at Dallas. I'm trying to think or give any love to Arizona, but I just can't do it.
I can't either.
I'm going Dallas as well.
Give it to Dallas. I mean, again, Dak Prescott, MVP level right now. Kyler Murray, I don't even know if he's playing or not for the Arizona
Supposedly
Cardinals.
He is.
This is just one of those seasons for the Cardinals where you just got to watch it and just say, you know what? Wipe your hands of it. Gannon might be out of a job. I don't know, but we'll see how this all ends up.
And before we get into our fantasy lineup questions, we got our boy Austin saying, if the Dodgers lose tomorrow night, I hope and pray this is the end of the Dave Roberts era.
Buddy, you know I love you, but it's not going to be. It's not. If you guys
what else
really
do you want from this guy?
That's what I'm saying.
You
really
are in the World
blaming
Series.
Him for the loss last night. Yes, it's Dave Roberts' fault. You guys only got one run off of a Kike Hernandez home run. It's Dave Roberts' fault. You guys didn't really have anybody on base throughout the entire game. It's Dave Roberts' fault that the game before that, you guys only scored 2 runs. Do you guys see the stupidity that's coming out of my mouth right now? Because I really need to stop talking. And that's what you guys sound like. Come on, man. It is not Dave Roberts' fault you guys lost the games. I'd be better off. I would take it better if Dodger fans would just come out and say, we were tired. The 18-inning game took it all out of us and we were tired. I'd respect you guys more if you said that.
Daily Dave, what you got to say about this Dave Roberts talk?
He's not going anywhere.
Thank you.
And we're just getting beat right now. That team is playing great. The pitching last night was superb.
Absolutely.
They're bunting. They're hitting for base hits. They're hitting home runs with men on base. We are not hitting. We are not fielding, making all the plays. I got to hand it to Toronto, but there's 2 games left.
There's plenty of time.
Anything can happen.
Exactly.
One game at a time.
That's right. And if we win tonight, I give them a really good chance. I had predicted that we'd win in 6. Now I'm hoping that we can win in 7. But it's baseball. Anything can happen.
Absolutely. What do you think the issue is, Dave? Why do you think the Dodger fandom just goes straight to fire Dave Roberts? Why is that always the answer?
Because they're related to people from Pittsburgh. You want to take the head coach there.
You know what? That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Especially the last guy that was just talking. He's a massive Pittsburgh fan. I can tell you that one right now. But again, I don't get it. I don't understand the hatred for Dave Roberts. I know you're the one that tell us this as well, but I have to agree with you. I don't know if there's any manager out there or really that's even managing a team right now that could manage this team as well as Dave does. And he's got no help in the bullpen. None. So
And
who is he supposed to go to?
Every manager makes mistakes. Even Montreal made a mistake the other night. They made some moves that I didn't think were in their favor, and it wound up costing them. I mean, but their team was in the World Series. They went from last place, first place, and they could be world champions. I'm just saying that right now, as of 5 games, they're outplaying us. Our bats need to come alive.
It's funny what happens when baseball teams start focusing on playing baseball rather than hitting home runs every time, right? I mean,
right.
I keep bringing this up, but you could chalk this up to the Moneyball idea. I mean, Billy Beane with the A's came out with the same idea. Let's not focus on getting guys who hit home runs every single time. Let's focus on guys who can run up pitch counts, who don't strike out, who get on base and allow us to hit in runs. That's how you win in baseball. That's literally the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, and here's one thing it could have cost us the other night. I thought they should have squeezed when Tommy Edmonds hit the double, got to third with only one out, squeezed him in. Then the game's over. I don't know what inning was it in, 12, 13.
Yeah. But again, there were plenty of opportunities for the Blue Jays, too, to have done the same thing. A lot of those guys running for third that got thrown out. I don't know what in the heck you're doing on those plays.
You have to play it safe. When you're in a tight game, you have to play it safe.
I agree 100%.
It's like when I play pickleball and we're in a tight game and these guys are trying to hit an ace and they hit it into the net. You can only score points when you get the ball over on your serve.
Everybody,
so you have to play heads up. My hat's off to the challengers. Dodgers are still world champions, and we still have a chance.
Oh, 100%. Nobody could ever take that away from you. And next year, I guarantee the Dodgers, once again, will be the favorite to win the World Series.
With Dave Roberts.
And that's the point. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get why people are so up in arms about this and are blaming him for this. And again, I know we got a text message a couple minutes ago who said, I can't believe he pulled Blake Snell. Do you expect Blake to throw 150 pitches? Like, what do you expect him to do? He had 2 guys on base, their best hitters coming up. Of course he's going to get pulled. Like, I don't know why everybody's so up in arms about it. Who you should be mad at is the pitcher who came in and gave up the 4 runs. Like, why are we mad at Roberts for giving the guy or having faith in the guy? You should be mad at the guy who gave up the runs.
Last night, I'm telling myself, and I didn't want to say it to my dad because I didn't want to jinx him, but I'm saying it's 3-1. If we get out of this thing, we could win it if we're only down 3-1. And then
100%.
All hell broke loose, and it's baseball, and it happens. And you got to look back too. Some of the plays that we made on defense, fantastic plays to keep us in it. So we could hit a run and get going. Our bats start going. I thought when Kike hit the home run, I thought, okay, everybody's gonna jump on the bandwagon and we're gonna start it. It didn't happen. Our main guys, Mookie, are struggling. Our first baseman, nobody's really hitting right now. And what are they? They're all hitting about 150. All of the best guys.
Muncy and Mookie and all these guys are maybe hitting 150, 170 somewhere. The only 2 guys that are really hitting for 3 guys, I should say, that are really hitting for you are Kike, Freddie, and Shohei. Those are the only ones that are actually putting a bat to a ball. And it's starting to show. And again, like I said, you could be star-studded all you want. But if they don't hit, if they can't get on base, what are you going to do? I mean, there's not much you can do.
No run production. You're absolutely right.
So
we've had good pitching, all the way around. I hate to get on the umps again. I think they call it a little bit tight on Schnell. I hate to see that box come up and they call it a ball and it's really a strike, or it's a strike and it's really a ball. But I try to let that go over my head and say, okay, just
right. But again, these umpires have to call it down the line as much as they possibly can. And I know a lot of calls go the wrong way, but I don't think there was many bad calls yesterday in terms of the umpires. I think you really could have taken the first 3 pitches as what was going to happen. They
Well,
got
and here's
2
the
home
thing,
runs in the
too.
first 3 pitches.
The announcer says, they go, he's going to pitch fastballs to the first batters. And what does he do? He throws fastballs. It's like,
Bop.
It's
everybody knows he's going to throw fastballs, and they're just waiting on the fastball. I would have started with curves myself, with those breaking curves. But there again, it's such a mind game. Baseball, I love it. It's chess on wheels, man.
Oh, 100%. And you're right. I think Blake came out with a little bit of, machismo, maybe. Maybe he kind of felt like, after the last game, none of these guys can touch me. And that's what led to the first 2 home runs. But at the end of the day, I think he bounced back very well. He only gave up, I think he got credited for 4 or 5, but I think he only really gave up 3. And like you said, if you guys got out of that one inning, that inning where they pulled him, it might have been a different game. It might have been enough for the Dodgers to sit there and say, hey, man, we're only down by 2. We could pull this off. But for them to blame Dave Roberts for all of it as if he didn't try to make adjustments and do what he could to win the game for you guys is just ridiculous.
I think it was a 3-1 game with 9 outs.
And
I was counting in terms of outs. How many? If we can manufacture 3 runs and 9 outs,
100%.
we can win this game, or at least tie it.
Oh, and you had it perfectly set up too. The sixth inning went by. You still had Shohei and all them coming up in the 9th. I was thinking the exact same thing. If this stays close, there's still a chance. But the minute that it popped out, it didn't matter.
They're hitting their home runs with men on base. We're hitting our home runs solo.
Right.
And that's a big turning point too. But yeah, no, Dave Roberts will be around, and like I said, go Dodgers. I'm still rooting for him.
As you should.
And great thing. Hey, I actually went down and got my Outback meal yesterday and met Eric Estrada.
Oh, did you really? Nice.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. The Tips with Chips was yesterday. We should have pumped that up. I totally forgot about that.
Mac Winbush looks like he could still get out there and tackle somebody.
Love me some Mac Winbush. But good luck. We appreciate your call, and we'll talk to you after. Hopefully we get a Game 7 this weekend, but we'll get into that and much more. We got some fantasy lineup questions, and then Bolt Brady from the Believe Network will be joining us at 8:30 right here on ESPN Bakersfield.
A Soul Ruther today. Love that. Welcome back to the Early Bird Special, ESPN Bakersfield, 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. Before we get you guys' text messages and lineup questions, then we'll get to our guy Bolt Brady on the other side of that. I just got sent this to me, but Floyd Roger Mayers Jr., for those of you who don't know who that is, that's little Nicky, the baby cousin from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in those late seasons, passed away today at the age of 42.
Man.
I'm not sure exactly of what. I'll look into that and hopefully have some info for you guys here.
Big-headed kid.
Yeah, he passed away.
Dude, and I was talking to Randy down the hall from Hot 94.1, and I was telling him that I recently rewatched Vice Principals,
Mm-hmm.
and he told me the principal that the lady that played the actual principal passed away last
I'm sorry.
week.
I'm sorry. I misspoke. Let me chime in real quick. It is not the younger cousin. It is actually the younger version of Will from that show.
Okay.
So, but he died of a heart attack at 42. Oh, thank God. I was thinking the little kid.
No,
They said
thank
child actor, and I was like, wait, no. But okay, thank God. Whoo!
It's still a kid.
I know it still sucks, still a child actor, and it's still anybody who passes away. But I was thinking it was little cousin. I'm like, no, love that kid. He was fantastic. Not that they say this guy wasn't, but I mean, you know what I mean. I had to chime in. I had to tie myself up. If anything, I just killed myself or killed somebody that's not dead. And it's like, wait. That's not the truth. My fault.
But
This is
at
why
the
I
end
need
of
to
the day,
redo it.
someone did die.
Yes, and the other day someone did die, and we do, our heart goes out to the family.
I
But
can tell.
42 years old of a heart attack, you never want to go that way.
No,
okay?
no.
But I had to stop just because, like, oh wait, I just killed somebody that wasn't actually dead yet. Let's not do that. My bad.
Fantasy lineup questions. The first one: do I go with Jalen Waddle tonight or Tyler Warren as a flex?
You're not starting Warren?
I mean,
Who else do you have at tight end? That's the number 2 tight end.
I think you said Brock Bowers.
How are you not starting both of them every week?
I would.
I
love Waddle, and Waddle is one of the few people that can catch the ball in Miami.
Yeah,
but if you have one of the top tight ends and you're playing a flex where you can, I would go with Warren.
I would as well, honestly. And not a lot of leagues allow tight ends as flex players too. That's kind of interesting. I know ours does in the work league, but yeah, I would go with Warren if you have both him and Bowers at the same time.
And keeping it with the tight ends, do I go with Aronde Gadsden or Dalton Kincaid this week?
I like Gadsden. I love what he's been doing.
Him.
And they really have. I think the chemistry between him and Herbert is really starting to get going. And like I said a couple weeks ago, this could be the best tight end that they've had since Hunter Henry and Antonio Gates. So I say go with Gadsden.
And I do think, Kansas City is playing Buffalo.
Yes.
So I believe Kincaid will get his as well. But Gadsden is like wide receiver 2
He really
over with
is.
the Chargers.
Especially with the banged up offensive line and him running for his life almost every other play.
Another flex question. Do I go with Keenan Allen or do I roll it out with Tracy this weekend?
That's a tough question. If I had to guess or if I had to bet, I'd probably say you're better off with Keenan Allen just because he's more of a consistent threat for the Chargers. And Tyrone Tracy, we don't know exactly what we're getting out of Tyrone yet, although that Frisco front 7 is banged up, man.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'll stay with Keenan.
Let's see what Tracy can do first.
Yeah. Although again, I did tell you to pick him up, so it's really up to your discretion, but I say go with Keenan just because more likely he scores a touchdown.
And the last one, do I roll with Jameson Williams or Shakir?
Yeah, I hear Shakir actually might be on his way. Wait, no, is this the Buffalo Shakir? Or is this okay? This is Buffalo Shakir. Never mind, he's not going anywhere.
He went.
Shaheed is the one I heard that might be on his way.
Shakir went off last week on my bench, but I do like Jameson Williams.
I do too.
But the thing is with Detroit, it's either Jameson or St. Brown.
And St. Brown gets a lot of targets. If I had to choose, I'd probably go with the other one. I probably wouldn't go with Williams. I'd probably just line it up with Shakir because again, you're going against the Chiefs.
They're gonna have to throw.
Yeah, so he's going to get a lot of opportunities to make plays, and we just talked about a little bit ago. There's not a lot of fantastic talent at the wide receiver position for the Buffalo Bills, so I would not be surprised if Shakir ended up being a major contributor to a win against Kansas City.
Well, we'll take our break. We'll welcome Bolt Brady back and see what his picks are this week. Plus, we'll throw in and see what he thinks about this World Series.
Absolutely.
Right here on the Early Bird Special.
Welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special on ESPN Bakersfield, 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. And it is time, as we always do on Thursdays, 8:30. We talk to our guy Bolt Brady from Bolt Brady and his bro at the Believe Network. Helps you pick all of your major picks for the weekend. Hopefully, make you guys some money. Sir, how are you?
Doing great, fellas. Let's keep the Thursday night mojo going.
Absolutely. How do you feel about the Thursday night game? Let's start there. I mean, Sparky's Dolphins, I think, have a pretty good shot to pull off the win tonight, wouldn't you say?
Well, I don't know.
We were worried this was going to be the answer.
I knew it.
They probably will do better, being on prime time. But where I'm actually looking is the under here, under 51.5.
Okay.
The Ravens, the last 2 weeks, they've held the Bears to 16 and the Rams to 17, and both those offenses are better than the Dolphins. So I like the under here.
That's a good point. I mean, again, the defense.
What?
Wait, what?
Two
what?
just threw 4 touchdowns.
Again, against the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, but the week before that, they were saying, "Oh, Atlanta's top 5 defense."
It is a top 5 defense. But again, it apparently you need to pop Tua in the eye every week in order for him to be a good quarterback.
Can we take a prop bet if maybe a lineman punches him in the other eye before the game?
I have no idea. Real quick, before we get to these college games, because I do have a handful of myself that I have to ask you about, because there's so many that are going to be great this weekend. The World Series, I know you don't necessarily bet on baseball, but do you follow it? And we had a question. Has the line kind of shifted in Vegas now that we're going into game 6 and the Dodgers are down?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Now Toronto's favored to win the World Series.
Okay. I had a feeling that would be the case, but I was kind of curious how Vegas was feeling about this, after the 36 innings of baseball we got in 3 games.
Right. Well, and you'd have to agree with it, right? They only have to win one of the next 2 games.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But let's shift over to college ball. Plenty to talk about this weekend. I will get my 2 self-indulgence out of the way first. I don't know if either of these are your picks for the week, but I got to ask, my Trojans going against Matt Rule this week, do we have a chance?
I knew that was coming. When you said you had some questions, I'm like, all right, here comes the Trojans.
Yep, absolutely. You know this.
Well, we've talked in the past that they struggle going back towards the East.
Yes.
But if there's a game that I think that they'll do well, this might be it. Just because Nebraska really hasn't played anyone that great yet.
Right. And I'm thinking, the travel isn't that bad. We're not going all the way to Michigan. We're just a state over. It can't be that big of a deal for Lincoln Riley. But I mean, if they end up losing this weekend, because this is the question that I've been posing to everybody since we obviously saw Brian Kelly get fired. We saw James Franklin get fired. You think Lincoln's on that list?
I haven't heard him being on the hot seat yet, so I think he would be okay. But it wouldn't be fun for him flying home on that flight.
I have to agree 100%. And then the other one I have to ask about, my new favorite SEC team, Vandy. What are we looking at here?
Well, Vandy has treated us well the last 2 weeks. We took Vandy against LSU and Missouri, and they did well for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Diego, but we're hopping off the train this week, and we're taking Texas money line.
Really? You think Archie and Sark are going to pull it off?
It's a difficult spot to play in Texas. I mean, Texas has lost both their games on the road to Florida and Ohio State. It's real tough to win in Texas. If Diego pulls that off, he's the man.
I agree.
Is Archie playing?
That's a good question.
It's up in the air, but the line is indicating that he is.
Okay, fantastic. And I mean, this is a must win for Texas too if they want to get back into the playoffs, right? Because I mean, if you lose another game to a ranked opponent, there's no way they get chosen for the playoff run.
Right. No, they wouldn't. And I do hope that Vandy does make the playoff run because I'd love to see Diego in the playoff.
Oh, I would too. Could you imagine the storylines of Vandy going against Ohio State or something like that? It'd be incredible. What other games do you have for us this week?
Well, so also on Saturday in college, I like Tennessee minus the 3.5 versus Oklahoma. I mean, Tennessee, the only 2 games they've lost is at Bama and at home against Georgia. So they've had a very difficult schedule. I like them to actually blow out Oklahoma there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then on Sunday, the Steelers let us down last week, but they're getting 3.5 versus the Colts this weekend. And I was probably a bigger believer than most people in the Colts this year with Daniel Jones. But given the Steelers 3.5 at home after they just came off a loss, I like the Steelers. And then lastly, guys, I like the Texans minus 1.5 against the Broncos. The Broncos, Patrick Surtain's out now, and the Broncos are just way better at home than they are on the road.
I agree, but that shocks me that you're taking the Texans over them as well. I mean, 77 points in 5 quarters can't be much to shy away from, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, listen, I'm not a huge Texans fan, but it's kind of like last week against the Niners. They were favored also,
Fair.
and you saw what happened there. Vegas, sometimes you have to look what they're doing and dig into that a little deeper.
How do you do that as a sports handicapper? Like, what are the routes you kind of go just to kind of figure those out?
Well, so for example, when I looked at that one kind of pops off because you say, well, the Broncos are playing well. What are they seeing here?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the Texans defense is so good And like I said, the splits for the Broncos home and away, way different. And that also goes for Bo Nix as well. When Bo Nix is a favorite against the spread, he does really, really well. But when he's an underdog against the spread, he's only 5-7 against the spread as a dog.
Wow, really? I was unaware. See, these are the stats that I love hearing, though, because there are so many that no one really throws out there on ESPN, even though you get a lot of betting stuff on the side, obviously. But I think the trends are really in those. Like I watch McAfee all the time, and one of their biggest one is if any team is favored over like 65%, like the population is really gearing towards that. Normally it goes the opposite direction. Is that kind of true for you as well?
Yeah, I think what they're alluding to is that, if you're at, your buddies, for example, let's say your friends, if they're all taking one team, you might want to look the other direction because it's just not that easy to win.
Right. Is it just the fact of just the entire population just being focused on one side? Like, what do you think kind of goes into that?
Oh, I think a lot of it has to do with the media and what the narrative is at the time. The media might be blasting, oh, this defense is terrible. For example, let's say the Ravens. The Ravens defense has not been good, all year until the last 2 weeks. Well, why is that? And you dig deeper, it's because they had a lot of injuries, and now their injury report is very, very clean. That's why they're playing so well.
That I could agree with 100%.
Well, we did have a listener asking more of the odds and the numbers, but the first one was Georgia at Florida, but the 7.5 that Florida's getting.
Right. So Georgia, I still think is one of the best teams in the nation. I would have to lean with Georgia there. I mean, Florida, they're just not looking too hot this year.
And the last one was, I know Ole Miss and 12.5, but 12.5, really?
That's what they said. They said
that's
really,
exactly what they said. And I the UCLA fan has disappeared
after the tough defense comment last weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, at 12.5, I would have to agree with that. That is quite a bit, but they are back home, and South Carolina's been struggling a little bit. So I would lean Ole Miss there.
Fantastic. And then one last question for you, just to get your thoughts on this. We've been talking about the Terry Rozier thing. I know we got your thoughts on this last week, but new things have come out, and now we're getting pushed for maybe just the elimination of prop bets altogether on some of these athletes. How do you feel about that?
Well, for me personally, I mean, I don't really touch prop bets. That's a whole nother ball game looking into that. But, like I kind of said before, I don't think that this is actually a bad thing that these guys are getting caught. It's actually showing that the system is working now, that we have things in place to catch these guys.
Right. No, 100%. I agree with you there. And honestly, the more we weed these guys out, the better the game's going to be, because we could just get back to the integrity of it all, and everybody can just feel safer with, the games that they're watching on television. Not everybody has to think it's scripted.
Correct.
So, well, thank you, my friend. As always, we will talk to you next week.
See you guys.
Thank you, brother. We got to take a break real quick, pay some bills. On the other side, we will talk more about this news coming out of the NCAA. It sounds like they are pushing back the ability to bet on pro sports for their athletes and coaches. Plus, Brad Marchand of the Panthers did something really cool that I have to highlight as well. It's a really cool, nice story to go us out on Fridays.
And I've got the NFL fans must accept after week 8.
Absolutely. We'll get all of that, and we'll let you guys know what's coming up tomorrow right after this break. This is the ESPN Bakersfield right here on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. Welcome back. This is the early bird special right here. This game making 101.1 FM AM. Also streaming video every single day from 7 to 9 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can follow us on all social media platforms, including TikTok and Instagram as well. Just search up the early bird special. We'll be right there for you. And like, subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll be let know every single time we go live. You can join us every single morning from 7 to 9. Handful of stories to talk about before we get out of here, including the 7 things that all NFL team or NFL fans must accept after week 8. First, I want to get this one out of the way. Brad Marchand of the Florida Panthers in the NHL has stepped away from the team to go help a friend whose daughter just died at the age of 10 of cancer. This is awesome to me because we never hear of this. We never hear of these athletes taking a moment to be human and going and supporting other people. I think as fans, we kind of ignore that or we kind of just overlook that. But stories like this, it gives me hope, man. It really does, that these guys aren't just in it for money and they're not in it for fame. They're looking to give back to the community and give back to their friends and stuff. And for Marchand to take a moment, I grant you, it's the beginning of the season, and the Florida Panthers are a championship team. They don't necessarily need Brad out on the ice right now, but that's just really cool of him to step away and focus on his friend and help him out when in his time of need after something so tragic. Because again, no parent should have to bury their child. That is one thing that I hope everybody understands. No parent on this planet should have to bury their child in any way. That is just awful to think about. The other story to highlight real quick, and we'll get more information on this tomorrow as this is somewhat developing, but the NCAA has decided to delay the rule change that would allow athletes and other athletic department staff to bet on professional sports. Originally, this was supposed to start on November 1st. This will now be pushed back until November 22nd, one day after the close of a membership recession period. Means to me, this is going to be revisited. This is most likely going to get altered or scrapped altogether. The SEC commissioner came out asking the NCAA recently to revisit this and kind of rethink your thought process on allowing athletes and athletic staff to bet on professional sports. We're having a big enough problem with betting as it is. And for all of this to come on the heels of the Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier situation, kind of one of those things. And if you don't think that certain alumni can reach out to certain professional players that are playing professional sports and somehow skew things, that's going to become up, or that's going to be brought up as a topic as well. We'll give you more information on this next or tomorrow, more than likely, when we have more time to talk about it. But Sparky's got the 7 things that all NFL fans must accept. That's from Pro Football Focus, correct?
Yep.
Fantastic. Let's hear from
the 7 things this week. Number 7 is the Kansas City Chiefs are back.
Yeah, no, I'm starting to accept that as well. I didn't want to accept it at first. I was really hoping that this was just a spur of the moment thing. Got like 3 wins in a row and we start to say they're back, but no, they're back. They're absolutely back.
Number 6 is something we talked about a couple days ago, but number 6 is Jonathan Taylor should win the NFL MVP.
And you know what's funny? Right after we talk about that, McAfee's talking about the exact same thing with J.J. Watt, and J.J. Watt says the same thing that I said. At this point, let's just make that the best QB award, and then the Offensive Player of the Year is now the MVP, because that's essentially what we're going to need to get. That's the only way running backs and wide receivers and tight ends are going to have a chance to win that award.
Number 5, the Patriots are legit Super Bowl contenders.
That is 100% true. And we were talking about this before the season even started, that they were our dark horse of the year because Mike Vrabel coming back in, McDaniel coming back in, Drake May, although not the greatest first year of all rookie quarterbacks, still looked at least decent, and now looks like one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the NFL. And honestly, he won me over when I saw a video of him this past weekend dressed as Dragonite at a hospital costume party. And I said, yes.
And how stupid do the Tennessee Titans look now?
Oh my God. Can you imagine how just their front office right now is besides themselves? They really are. But again, that's the whole lipstick on a pig situation. Tennessee's got a lot more issues on their team than just a quarterback.
And number 4, George Pickens will not be a Dallas Cowboy wide receiver next season.
Really? I disagree with that.
I know Pickens is going to get paid.
He is going to get paid. The only thing that would make me believe that is if Jerry doesn't like him, because we all know Jerry loves his boys and Jerry will pay his boys. But this dude, I mean, for the weeks that CeeDee Lamb was out, stepped up when no one else could, I think he stays in Dallas. I think Dallas likes him.
I think it just came up with if Jerry is going to pay a second wide receiver that type of money.
True. Well, I mean, you didn't pay Micah, so you got plenty of money to throw around.
That is true.
Just
Number
saying.
3, the Ravens will win the AFC North this season.
I'm not ready to believe this just yet.
Me neither.
If Lamar comes back and we see MVP Lamar and we see, the team's defense turn it around and they look as good as we hoped they would, I think there's a good chance of it, but I'm not ready to accept this just yet. Are they a wild card threat? 100%.
Let them get a win or a loss tonight.
Let's see a win streak start first before we start saying they're going to usurp everybody.
And number 2, Tyler Shuck will not be the Saints starting quarterback next season.
That is 100% factual. And I'll tell you why, because no one's talked about him up until this point. Not a single person in the New Orleans Saints organization has said they're excited for this guy to take the field. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to see exactly why on Sunday. He's not that good.
Damn.
We're talking about Brandon Weeden 2.0. And with the list of quarterbacks that are coming out in next year's draft, including Nussmeier, I mean, you got Mendoza most likely coming in. There's always the possibility that Archie decides to go. No.
I hope he comes out
I
slinging.
kind of do too. But at the same time, I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer of Tyler Shuck.
I have no tape on him, so I have no idea. But if he comes out like Brandon Weeden, that is just going to be sad.
I'm just calling it now. Brandon Weeden 2.0.
And the number one thing NFL fans must accept after 8 weeks of football, Jordan Love has entered the top 10 quarterback conversation.
Did he ever leave it?
I didn't think you.
I was like, I thought he was already in it.
This offseason, they were already talking MVP. So.
Right. Like, we've been talking about Jordan in that light, or at least top 10. Like, if you said top 5, I'd say, okay, let's calm down. But top 10, I thought he was already up in that area. But that's just my personal opinion.
It really took a win over Pittsburgh?
That's what I'm thinking in my head. And honestly, it wasn't really a win we thought he wasn't going to get.
Right.
Like, again, some of these can go back and forth a lot of the time. But, I mean, when we look at the top 10 quarterbacks in the league, or at least you talk about them, off the top of my head, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. I mean, I guess you can qualify guys like Dak Prescott. I mean, Justin Herbert this year for sure. But Jordan was always around that area. Matthew Stafford. I mean, I put him up there. There are guys that are questionable that are really making their cases this year. I think it would be better if you said Baker Mayfield is now a top 10, because I don't think a lot of people were putting him in the top 10.
Rough couple of weeks.
But he, for the first couple of weeks of the season, with how injury riddled that Tampa Bay team has been, and for him to look the way he has.
Yeah, he was in MVP talk too.
Oh, yeah.
And we got a jam-packed show, a Halloween edition of the Early Bird Special. Tomorrow we'll have Jim from KRRJ Collectibles.
Are we doing a costume thing?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I know Mick Foley is going to be in town this weekend.
God,
signing
if I had a
autographs.
Mankind mask, I would totally do that. I would totally do a whole show.
Dude, I went to Spirit Halloween and they had a Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the skin.
Ooh.
I wanted it, but it was $70.
Oh, that's a lot for a mask. Man. But I mean, hey, that sometimes that's all it takes for these costumes to look great is a fantastic mask.
And then we'll have Kyle Pitzer from Dionysus.
Absolutely.
Caramel apple slushy beer out right now.
Our friend Allie Saldana went down and actually tried herself. I meant to ask her how it was, but it's most likely fantastic. They've all been amazing. I'm not going to lie to you. Every single one I've tried is just, I need to go back every single weekend.
And he did say you can order them online.
Yes.
I was like, what?
Yes, Pitzer. Okay, I need to get all the info on that tomorrow for sure.
Plus, don't we have Saturday night's main event?
We do. Saturday night's main event is this weekend. Dude,
Game 7 of baseball, if that happens.
I've got a wedding this weekend. I'm going to Universal on Sunday, which look out for that on our social media as well. I'm going to hopefully get some looks at this whole Bray Wyatt 6 maze.
They have an Undertaker one.
I don't know exactly the extent of how they did it, but yes, I heard that Undertaker and Kane were also somehow connected to it.
And if anyone's going to be out there this weekend for Halloween,
I'm just saying. But again, we will see what we will see. Just follow us on all social media platforms at the Early Bird Special, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We're all over the place. And trust me, we'll have reels and we'll have videos and coming out this next weekend. But there's plenty to talk about as well on Monday when we get back, because again, the World Series will be over by that point. We'll find out what happens in the NFL, and the NCAA has an incredible slate of football games that I'm going to be missing half of because I have a wedding.
Plus, Welcome to Derry episode 2 comes out tomorrow.
I might stay up till midnight tonight just to watch it and tell you guys how it is, because wow, was this series
It's a
good.
hell of a show, dude.
And we've only seen one episode. And you know what's funny? A friend of mine made a good point. It's like Game of Thrones. I'm warning you guys now. Do not get connected or attached to any of these characters, because they will all disappear. We have to remember what this story is. This is the prequel to the movies, which means
We haven't got Georgie yet.
Pennywise wins throughout this entire thing, and we're going to get 3 seasons of it, says the creators of the show.
Nice.
That's going to be amazing. But until tomorrow, 7 to 9, we got to get out of here. Thank you guys for listening to the Early Bird Special. We greatly appreciate all of you. Here comes the great Rich Eisen. Sparky, let's get out of here.